part of the Action Network family presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. I'm Brandon Kravitz, joined by a couple of Santa's favorite elves on this pre-Christmas episode. It's a super episode. Kendra and Stuckey are off off of a great week 16. Had ourselves a phenomenal week of NFL betting and a lot more to get to today. We'll plant the flag. We'll nominate our two kings and a queen parlay. We've got Evan's super loaded primer. It's an all-in-one episode. We said around Thanksgiving that we learned a lesson to take it easy around the holidays. We're distracted. We're trying to get plays in early. We're forcing it sometimes, and sometimes for content reasons as well. Kendra, have we learned our lesson, or are the Christmas betting cards full?
I am going to have such a light week of bets for so many reasons. One, it's the holidays. Two, people are on short rests in a lot of these scenarios. Three, I'm sure just like everybody else, players are people too. They have a lot going on in their lives. They have family, friends, kids that they've got stuff to get done for. Holidays, big distraction for everybody. I'm going to go super light this week. And additionally, there's teams who are playing for nothing and teams who are playing for everything. And that always gets dicey. You always have to decide who's going to, kind of try and tank for picks and who's not, who has teams that people need to be playing for contracts next season. All of those types of things this time of year is so tough. Save your bankroll for the playoffs.
Stuck, you want to hit anybody with the holiday disclaimer, or are you loading up this week?
No, same as always. I actually love the last 2 weeks of the regular season because I love betting on teams that are playing for nothing against teams that need to win. Usually you get some value there. I think historically they hit it like 61%. Everyone who wants to bet the team that's playing for nothing, it's a team that needs to win. Usually nobody, and a lot of times you can get value betting against that. These are still professionals. They're still going to show up. I mean, teams rarely outwardly tank. The guys, the only things you could do is like from an organization standpoint, you might just not play certain guys, right? You might just, say, hey, we're going to sit this guy out. We're going to shut down this guy. But everyone on the field, I mean, they're playing for contracts for next year. They're not going to not try. Um, so yeah, I mean, look at the Raiders are a perfect example last week. Like they have an incentive to lose out. They outplayed the Texans in Houston, who needed to win. Um, so yeah, I love betting on teams. It requires you to bet on a lot of bad teams, but I love betting on the bad teams in the final 2 weeks of the regular season that are playing for nothing.
You love
Uh,
betting on those teams the whole year. Don't lie.
That's a good
oh
point.
yeah, of course. Uh, but I think you get even more value the last 2 weeks. So I already have a couple of those, I bet. And then the worst part about this week, the NFL the end of the regular season has really lost a lot of its luster this year. It's pretty unfortunate. I mean, there's a chance we know all 14 playoff teams after this weekend, and it's not the one that's probably most unlikely is who wins the NFC South because it would require the Bucks
If the
to
Bucks lose and the
lose
Panthers
and the
win, the
Panthers beat the
Panthers clinch.
Seahawks. So that's the least likely. But there's a chance like that's the only thing we have left to decide.
If they play
Because
they play again the last week, correct?
yeah.
Yep.
So unless the Panthers have a 2 game lead because the Bucks win the tiebreaker, then that's going to decide the division. So there's a good chance that that ends up getting flexed to Sunday night. And then like next Sunday afternoon, there's going to be maybe some seeding stuff. Um, but yeah, and then you have all these quarterback injuries. Like we might have 10 or 11 backup quarterbacks. A third of the league's gonna have a backup quarterback this week. A bunch third strings. So
Do we have
yeah,
a
I'll be betting
backup
as
quarterback
usual.
crisis?
Yeah, and they have all these rules to stop to keep quarterbacks healthy and
Well,
body
they're
weight.
running. They made these rules, and then all of a sudden the NFL changed, and these guys started running around like they're in college. So I don't know if they need to develop new rules that where you can't even hit the quarterback when he's diving for a first down, 15 yards down the field.
It's
What,
just
you don't want more
get
Phillip
rid of the
Rivers?
body weight, please. Like these injuries aren't happening on body weight, by the way.
The body
Uh,
weight foul is maybe the worst of all.
it's
I'm with you
insane.
on that.
So yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. The Christmas slate would have Netflix pay the NFL 150 million to get a bunch of third string quarterbacks. So yeah, I It's time to
I'm
spend
gonna
time with
watch
the
every
family.
minute of it like a sicko.
I mean, this
I have to
really
watch
it,
every minute. It's like
yeah.
my job, and I'll watch all the games.
People are
So,
still going to watch the games because
but they're not going to
this is what
watch them.
people
Watch
do.
them.
But they're going to be
Uh,
on. Like Netflix is still going to get their streaming numbers. This will officially test. This is like the biggest stress test you could ask for the NFL. Let's see how much people actually love products. Let's give you this on
if
Christmas.
you want to
Do
watch
you
Josh
guys
Johnson,
do
you
you
gotta
guys
put on
have
Netflix at the family party. Let's see.
do you guys have the same issue that I do? You remember back in the day when you're making fun of boomers who couldn't say Chipotle? My mom can't say Netflix. My mom cannot get she thinks it's Nextflix. And she cannot say Netflix properly. Does anybody else have that issue? It's like the new Chipotle for me.
My dad can
Uh,
say it, but he can't. In order for him
Operate
to
it.
turn on any app, he has to call one of us, and we have to walk him through it every time. Also, he listens to my podcast. I have to send him like an email to his AOL email. It still has an AOL email,
Of course.
and I can't. I send him every one. He calls me if I don't send it. He can't figure out how to just go to the
Go on
feed.
YouTube.
So I have to email him everyone, and it's from the Acast site where we host it because I have to send him the exact link where you can just hit this play button on his old browser. It's the only one that works. So I
Still
got to
on
remember
dial
after
up.
every podcast to send him a link from this production site, and then he clicks it and hits play. So yeah, there's probably going to be some people that just put the NBA on their TV to not pull up the streaming. So I think it'll be hit a little bit, but I am curious to see
No
what the
double
watch patterns
box
are.
because one's on Netflix. That's killer.
Yeah, Netflix, Amazon. So like there's going to be some people that are just like, dude, I'm not going to put the streaming on and for Max Brosmer. No disrespect, Max.
Whoa! If you guys better watch Max Brosmer and like it.
I'm going to take a sip of my gingerbread latte while Stucky asks us something weird, random, and bizarre.
Well, in the Christmas spirit, um, what is what is the worst gift you've ever received? It's a hard one, so I don't know if you have an answer. But what? And then two-part question: what do you want? Because as you get older, it's harder to like get to come up with a gift that would like make you happy. Um, like what would you want as a gift? And obviously, it has to like a reasonable gift. You can't be like I want a private jet or um, what's something that you would want that makes you happy at your current age? Um, I think the worst gift I ever got was um I got a won't say the family member that got it for me, but I got a like and it was really nice, but I got this like tight leather jacket. Like was I ever gonna wear that? It is sat in my closet for I think 13 years. I like moved with it. Am I ever gonna wear a leather jacket? No. So but that was like really nice but yeah, I've never got any use for it and it's taken up room in a closet in my house forever. So I guess I gotta nominate that. Uh
I mean, you
what
could
make
go as like a member of Greece for Halloween. You know, you could use it for outside of just like wearing it to dinner.
I guess, yeah. What gift makes me happy? Books, but I don't like I gift them to myself. My problem is in like 2025, I just buy anything I want. My wife always says this. Whenever I want something,
Yep.
I just buy it and it's so easy to buy it online. So I like getting like food is probably what makes me happy. Like I showed you, I get a bunch of tinned fish. I sound like a 70-year-old. Uh,
Yeah, what's the tint fish thing? What is that is so like Gen Z girly pop of you. Why are the girls obsessed with tin fish
are
right
girls
now?
obsessed with tinned fish?
Oh my God, Stucky. It is like the biggest trend on TikTok right now and like the gift that everybody wants. I don't understand.
Hmm. I love just grabbing a quick tin fish, some crackers or some bread, it's like some good tuna belly, heating it up a little bit. But I've always loved tin fish, but also like chili oil paste, like different kind of pastes and yeah, like or like a shirt, like a good sweatshirt or hat. I think, like that's it. It's hard to find. It's hard to like for me to um to be like, this is what I really want that makes me happy. But how about you guys? What's the worst gift you ever got, and what would you want? What's something that you want this year?
So
Rabbits.
the worst gift I ever got, the one that springs to mind, it's not a Christmas gift though, but it definitely fits the podcast. A girl that I dated many, many years ago, pre-wife. She got me, it was for my birthday. My birthday is in early August, right when the preseason starts in the NFL. And she knew I was a Dolphins fan. So, and she wasn't a sports fan. So she gets me tickets to a Dolphins game. The Dolphins had just signed Dante Culpepper. I went to UCF. I'm all pumped up about this. And I open it up. I see that like those were like physical tickets back when they actually printed those. And it said Dolphins Browns week 2 of the preseason. And she thought she had nailed it because she didn't know the difference between a regular season and preseason. So I had to
And the
go to
Browns.
this game. I went to this game with her, drove 3 hours down to Miami, go to this game with her, and had to pretend the whole time like this is the best experience of my life. Culpepper played 2 snaps, was out of the game, and we watched backups for the Browns and the Dolphins, and she had no idea that this game didn't matter at all. That's the one that springs to mind. I asked for a Ring camera doorbell, so this is where I'm at in my life. And a Cosmo pillow. They had this on display at a City Furniture, and you lay on the bed when you go to the furniture stores to test it out. Most comfortable pillow I've ever laid on. So, a digital camera and a pillow. And I don't want any more kids, so I might get a vasectomy, but I'll probably pay for that myself.
You probably need an ice pack. Maybe that's what I'll get you for
Right.
Christmas.
Beat that, Kendra.
My worst gift was also from my ex-boyfriend that I dated all through college. And he got me I didn't eat meat until I was 25. I don't know if you guys know that about me. Like literally my whole life I did not eat meat. And then COVID happened and maybe I was like 23 or 24, whatever. And then COVID happened and I was like, well, if I'm going to die, I guess I should eat a steak. And so I started eating meat again. But my boyfriend bought me a book about, like, this girl wrote a book about her journey to becoming a vegetarian. He bought me one of the Steven Singer gold dipped roses and a bottle of gin. And I hated it. And I was like, thanks. We've been dating for like a year and a half and you don't know me at all.
Oof.
Amazing. Yeah.
That's
And so that,
sobering when someone just
yeah.
like
Yeah.
reveals something
Yeah.
to you.
Yep. And so that sucked. I donated all of it. And then what I want this year, I really want a puppy. You guys, I want a pup. I have puppy fever so bad. I want another dog, but I don't think that, yeah, pets. Pets or food, that's what I want. If you want to
Uh,
gift me another being, I'm in.
it feels like a good disclaimer. Don't put the dog in the box. I think too many people think that that's cute. Even if you cut the hole in it, it's just not. Just give the person a dog. Don't put it in a box.
Be a
By the way,
responsible person too, because I feel like so many people this year will like get someone a pet and then it winds up in a shelter. So only get them a pet if they really want one,
do you have
like
any
myself.
specific what kind of puppy do you want?
I don't know. I bought Jackson out of the back of a van because a lady was gonna shoot him. So just something that needs a home.
Yeah, we had a rescue too. Although I hope one day I can rescue I want a border collie one day. But
I really want a Doberman.
I'd like
Imagine me with a Doberman with just like a metal chain around its neck and its name is like Fluffy. That would be sick.
We should just get like a show dog and then pass it around the country. Then it's not the same level of responsibility. We can each have the dog for a couple
We
of
have
months.
Stucky 4.
my the we had a I watched for Friends they had 2 Great Danes. That's the only dog I don't want. I love them, but they're so big and they were drooling all over me and but I was watching like house sitting like going over there and feeding 2 huge Great Danes. Um Brandon, I do have a funny preseason story. I was like 14. This is like early 2000s. I went with like my friend and his dad who brought us. They were Eagles fans. I was a Ravens fan. This is like 2001, and I had a Ray Lewis. I wore a Ray Lewis jersey. It was a preseason game, and it was at the vet, and the game got canceled. I don't know if you remember this. there was like holes in the field, and like Brian Billick went out there and he was like, "This is unsafe," and there was this huge delay, and the NFL, there was like all these meetings with the officials, and then they just came out and they said the game is unsafe to be played, and they canceled it. And when I was leaving, there was just all these drunk Eagles fans just screaming at me like murderer. They were just so mad. They didn't, I was like, dude, we didn't get to see a preseason game, but everyone was so mad. I was like, 14-year-old kid walking out of there getting screamed at because people didn't get to see their preseason football. So to your point, maybe people are upset not to see preseason NFL. They're probably going to turn on Josh Johnson, Max Brosmer, and Eludicon.
As they
For
should.
sure.
As they should.
I hope that my ex of many years ago is forced to. I'm sure she's married by now. I hope that her husband forces her to watch Christmas Day football just to make up for my experience watching the Dolphins and the Browns.
I hope one of my ex's friends listens to this podcast because statistically that is quite likely and sends him the bit about me hating his gifts.
Yeah, if not, we can probably have production just send it right to him. So if you could get us an email address, we'll make that happen. Let's plant our flag for week 17. Kendra, we will start with you. I feel though as though we're gonna have a little bit of disagreement here. What you got?
You piss me off. I love you to death, but you piss me off every single week. We talked about this before the show started. I'm on the Saints. I just don't get the vibe that they are wanting to tank. The Titans got got super lucky last week. The Gardner Minshew went down, got a good morale victory. I see them probably rolling over, going belly up here. I've been really impressed by Tyler Shuck, and I think that they want to get him some reps, get him some snaps, let him grow a little bit because the progress that I've seen from him the last couple of weeks has been awesome. I was originally in the boat that the Saints probably would be going to the draft looking for a quarterback. I don't think they have to at this point. And I think Kellen Moore is a good coach. Should have been a head coach sooner. Probably gonna take this game as a chance to get another win under their belt. I don't really have faith in the Titans. They had their rah-rah, good win last week. Go Saints.
Yeah, I just think that New Orleans is probably peaking out right now, and this feels like a really good time to fade them. I know the Titans are coming off of a win, but that wasn't so much of a win as it was a meltdown of competition. The Saints have won 3 games in a row, and now they go on the road. It just feels like a major letdown. This feels like one of those games, just take the dog. Whoever would be the underdog would be the team that I would like. I don't hate it. I just am. I'm definitely going to add the Titans to a teaser leg. I just haven't decided who else I'm going to pair them with yet. But the Titans have already been nominated, so we could both end up winning this. I'm going to take this up to 8.5, and you're going to lay the 2.5 with the Saints. Stucky, what about you?
Well, yeah, I don't mind the teaser look for Titans there. We're gonna go ugly. I got to give people a Christmas bet, so we're gonna bet on the Chiefs
Oh my God.
plus 13. This line is insane. So let's rewind a month ago. The Chiefs closed what, 4 in Denver? So we'll keep it easy. It's a divisional game. Home field isn't as much. We'll keep it simple and say home field's worth 1.5. That means the Chiefs at the time were 5.5 points better than the Broncos. Now the Broncos are favored by 13. Keep it at the home field at 1.5 on the road. So now we're saying the Broncos are over 2 touchdowns better than the Chiefs. That's a 20-point adjustment in a month. 20 points in the NFL. By the way, Mahomes, the 2 games before he got hurt, was the worst quarterback in the NFL in EPA plus completion percentage over expectation. Their offense was broken for the 3 weeks that he was playing. It's not like we're going from peak Mahomes where this offense was operating at some crazy level over before he got hurt to a Ludicon. So 20, no quarterback's worthy. Now there's other injuries, but I would think also, I think the reason that you're getting this number, again, like Broncos win, you clinch the division, Chiefs are eliminated. They got blown out by the Titans last week. I I was on the Titans last week. I thought it was a horrible spot for the Chiefs. Were they going to show up the human element of that? They were finally eliminated from the playoffs. They're going at Tennessee. So everyone who was hurt sat out. They had their quarterback got hurt. Eludicon had to come in. He had no reps with the first team. So you got a couple things here. He'll have reps now this week. He can move around, which you need to do behind this offensive line. And I would imagine that some of the guys who were hurt last week it's like, why play? This is like the last game that you'd want to play. This is like the Chiefs Super Bowl, Kelsey's last game at home of his career. And you don't want the Broncos to clinch the division and like on your home field, a rival. So will the Chiefs lay down here? No. Like this is a game where the Chiefs will try the low total. You're going to give me close to 2 touchdowns. I don't know. I think this line should be like 10 and a half, 11. So yeah, we're taking the Chiefs plus 13. I think they'll get up for this one. And this is a Broncos team that doesn't blow out anyone. And I
No,
think
yeah,
their
they could.
defense.
Yeah,
They
I
were
don't
running
hate it.
10 on a neutral to Justin Fields and won by 2 with Fields throwing for negative 10 net passing yards.
Can I put my tinfoil hat on?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Andy Reid and Kelsey both retiring at the end of this year? And if Harbaugh gets fired, them bringing him in?
No, I mean, here's the thing. What is Reid? What else is Reid gonna do?
Go be a
Eat
grandfather?
burgers? Like
Maybe
I know he loves
go to
burgers.
Awaken 180?
He's gonna go like a Food Network show about touring the country eating burgers.
It's amazing how quickly we sell stock on these guys. Andy Reid was the toast of the town for the last 5 years, and now we're like, they should probably get someone else.
I've been a hater.
No, Reid seems like he's gonna be like a football guy. I feel like he doesn't do anything else. So yeah, I think the Chiefs will show up here. Now maybe Oludekon's a disaster and like he turns it over a bunch and gets sacked and gets stripped and he got to stop holding the ball with one hand. But maybe. But I just think this line's too high. And this is a Broncos team. I mean they don't blow out anyone. I mean, and I'm talking bad teams. They beat the Raiders 10-7 at home. Like this is a team that they just their offense can get stuck in the mud. Knicks can be inconsistent for quarters at a time. And
90%
like we're
of the
getting this
Chiefs
line
rosters
after the
on IR.
Broncos. What's that?
Yeah.
I said 90% of the Chiefs rosters on IR.
It's fair. There's a lot of injuries.
Like
but
the fact that Rashee Rice isn't out there really doesn't help because they have such a hard time moving the ball. Oludekon, by the way, 11 of 16 for a $111 for a quarterback that's coming in as a third string. Not that bad.
he was
I
better
don't
than
hate
Minshew
this.
because Minshew can't move around and he had no reps. Like he'll get reps this week. Maybe there's a chance Rice comes back. I mean, I don't know. But I mean,
Because he's
the Broncos
questionable right
beat
now.
the Broncos beat the Commanders by 1 on the road in overtime. The Raiders by 3. They beat Davis Mills by 3. I mean, like the Jets by 2. Like this is the team that the Titans by 8. Like they don't blow out anybody. This is coming off a game where they got destroyed. I still think their defense is a bit overrated. So just hit a couple long passes on Riley Moss, get to 13 points, and you cover.
Wow. Well, this is Stucky's specialty. So before you guys out there listening or watching this scoff at the idea of betting the Chiefs on Christmas, these are usually the bets that he hits. So I don't know that I can
I'm
get
not
there,
scoffing. If it were Gardner Minshew, I would have been in on this. I just. Eh.
but the way that I look at it
You're
is
like
there's
2
no way
touchdowns on the road with Bo Nix.
Yeah.
That's insane.
there's no way I'd bet the Broncos, which means it's Chiefs or nothing, and it's probably going to be nothing for me, but I totally get it. I get it on Kansas City. I told you guys I was going to sell you on the Dolphins plus 5.5. I wasn't going to force it. I was going to crunch some numbers. We did, and we're there.
Me and Stucky at the same time literally just did the.
No matter what numbers you crunched, you were going to bet the Dolphins.
Yeah, no.
Well,
There was
don't
no
do that,
numbers. There was no
Travis.
numbers coming back saying no. Don't bet this.
There wasn't even a real line out on Sunday, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna convince you guys on the Dolphins."
This could have been minus 5.5, and you would have told us you're betting the Dolphins.
That is not true. I personally project this closer to 3. So I think that's around anything south of that. I think if it was like 3.5 or north of 3.5, I would have definitely tried to sell you guys on this at 5.5.
My Christmas gift to you was not planting my flag on the Buccaneers.
Yeah. Oh my God. Really? Guys,
Yes.
Come on. This Bucks team right now
They're
cannot be
disaster.
trusted. They've been so bad. So
They've not covered 7 in a row. Baker's been arguably a bottom 3 quarterback for the last 2 months. I don't know if he's hurt or he has just come crashing back down to earth. He's been abysmal. So I don't. If you want to sell this as a Bucks fade, that's fine.
Well, it's much more of a Bucks fade, but it's also I think this line is over adjusting to a blowout because people are going to look and go, oh, well, Quinn Ewers came in 7th-round pick, and then the team got blown out. He really wasn't that bad. He had an INT that bounced off of a receiver's hands. Greg Dulcich fumbled the football. He had nothing to do with that. It was the defense that couldn't hold up. I actually thought Ewers looked pretty crisp out there, all things considered. No way this Bucs team should be laying over 5 on the road. As Stuckey mentioned, he's been bad since week 7. The Bucs are a bottom 10 offense. These teams just are not that far apart right now. So you give me 5.5, and I don't think this number touches 6. Otherwise, I wouldn't plant my flag on it. I would just wait. I don't think we're getting there. I think this is going to go either stay where it's at or it's going to go down to 4.5. And I like Miami legitimately. I know I was likely going to end up there no matter what, but this number is chef's kiss. I love it.
I don't hate it as a fate of the Bucks are a mess right now. Baker's a mess, and that's how you have to attack this Dolphins team. Their secondary is horrendous, and I mean Baker's just missing throws left and right. And this is one of those instances where yeah, the line's probably a tad inflated because the Bucks have to win, and
yeah, the Bucks can be eliminated this week if the Panthers beat the Seahawks and the Dolphins beat the Bucks. The Bucks are out. The Dolphins have nothing to play for here. These are exactly the kind of teams, the kind of situations that you want to bet into week 17 and week 18.
Do you think that Mike McDaniel is going to lose his job?
I don't.
I have no idea actually. I thought he was, and then he wasn't. Now I don't know.
I think the fact that the owner there's no way that you bench a quarterback who signed a $200 million contract without checking with the owner first. So the fact that he got the go-ahead to do that, to me, that screams Mike McDaniel's going to be the coach next year. Now, maybe he gets fired 3 weeks into the season next year, but I think they're at least going to get him into next season.
Yeah, there was a recent report that came out that said he's coming back. So
we'll see. All right, there you go. Our flags are planted. Saints -2.5, Chiefs +13, and the Miami Dolphins +5.5 against those Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Those are some ugly flags.
You guys.
Yours might be the ugliest kind of. Saints is road chalk.
You are betting the Chiefs right now.
Yeah, I'm getting Jackson, 2 touchdowns. You're laying points. I could argue yours is the ugliest.
The fact that Tyler Shuck is the best quarterback on the plant the flag tells you a whole lot.
Jackson heard I wanted a puppy, and now he's like in the background giving us his vest right now.
That's a good sign for our dogs, not your road chalk.
The dogs are barking. Anyways.
Hey, listen, you said you wanted dogs for Christmas. We gave them to you. And
we gave you 2. A Ludicon and yours.
Yeah, the real puppies.
Quinn's a good dog name. That's more of a cat
Yeah,
name.
but if he dresses like a wannabe Morgan Wallen, I don't know. I'll set on that one.
So now that we've planted our flags, we're going to jump ahead a bit to Monday Night Football on ESPN because right now there's an awesome offer from Sling TV. If you need instant access to live TV, maybe you're stuck at the in-laws on this holiday season, you're away from the normal home setup, don't worry. With Sling TV, you can take control with flexible package options of 1, 3, and 7-day passes for access to 30-plus live channels, which includes ESPN and TNT. So you're covered for Monday Night Football, all 11 of the college football playoff games and more. So with Sling TV, they're going to get you in Monday Night Football, and we're going to get you into a same-game parlay. I like the Falcons +8.5. I like the way that this team has looked the last couple of weeks. They've gotten wins against the Bucs and the Cardinals. I know that this is a step up in weight class against the LA Rams. Kyle Pitts has been playing well. Drake London back in the mix. They can always lean on Bijan. Give me a little prime time Cousins to get the cover. Kendra, what do you like?
I gotta say that this Sling deal is the absolute best thing if you're going to like your grandma's house or something like that and you want to have the games on but know that they don't have any sort of TV package whatsoever, or you're Stucky's dad. That's definitely probably what I'm gonna be doing because I'm gonna be at my best friend's grandparents' house. So I might do that. However, I am waiting for Blake Corum's numbers to come out. I want to see what his total is for maybe like some pass catching, just because he's been kind of a little bit more involved in the game, especially with Devontae Adams out. They've had to get a little bit more creative with that offense. I'm really looking at Blake Corum numbers once they're out. Whether you like the anytime, whether you like him to catch a couple passes, whatever looks nice with Blake Corum, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah,
Well, we got to
big
pick
fan of
one.
Corum.
We got to pick one.
What? I know, but I don't have numbers. I'm probably going to go with whatever his like catch total is. That's probably where I'm going to be. I'm probably going to go with the over.
I think he's been going over his rushing yards week after week. I'm going to look into that. What do you like,
Yeah.
Stuckey?
I'm going to go with, I mean, this is hard to do on a Tuesday for a Monday night game without knowing
Yeah. Yep.
a lot of injury stuff, but I'm going to go with Colby Parkinson anytime touchdown. With Adams' status in doubt, expect just a ton of heavy personnel from the Rams. Falcons have struggled defending heavy personnel. I think I'll get plenty of looks in the red zone. So let's go with Parkinson anytime touchdown.
I dig it. Blake Corum, by the way, 4 weeks in a row, he has gone over his rushing yard total.
He's kind of the king. They've finally started to give him some opportunity in that offense.
Yeah,
which
he looks like a legit starting running back. If Kyron wasn't standing in his way, I think that he's got bell cow abilities. Did you like him coming out of Michigan, Stuckey, as a pro?
I didn't think he could be an every down back. But I thought he would be could find a role in the NFL, but he's been better than I expected before. And then I mean, I guess we'll go once the line comes out. We'll go with we'll go Falcons, Corum over rushing yards, and Parkinson touchdown. And I mean, for what it's worth, the Falcons are a very poor rush defense. They're I think 27th in rush success rate. So you can run on them too. So that does make sense. 25th in rush EPA. So yeah, that'll be the parlay once the numbers come out. Falcons, Corum over, and Parkinson touchdown.
The holiday season is here, and if you find yourself at a let's gather around the table and play a board game while the game is on kind of house, Sling TV is your solution to instant access to live TV, starting as low as $4.99, and this works for more than just Monday Night Football. This also covers Saturday NFL games on ESPN. There is not a better time to acquaint yourself with the 1, 3, and 7-day passes from Sling TV. Offer applies to Orange 1-day pass. Restrictions apply. We still have our 2 Kings and a Queen parlay coming up, which means more picks, more analysis. But first, a word from the queen of the pod as we chat about our loyal friends at DraftKings.
The Favorites podcast is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook, and in partnership with DraftKings, our listeners get a great offer. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 back in bonus bets if your bet wins. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports and have the shot to win cash prizes. To get started, use promo code FAVORITES when signing up with DraftKings. Again, use code FAVORITES when signing up and bet $5 to get $200 back in bonus bets if your bet wins. The crown is yours.
Evan Abrams joining us on the podcast, the voice of God. No betting week can start without the primer. I am hearing rumors that the primer is as loaded as it's been all season long. Evan, what is the most common theme that you have come across in the primer this week?
Yeah, so Stuckey knows this more than anyone, and we kind of have been working on this together since he's been here, which is now like, I don't know, close to a decade. And it's basically these last 2 weeks, you're fading teams that need to win. He knows this, I know this. It's 61%, as he mentioned, 108 and 69. And basically what it is you're betting teams who are eliminated against teams who need to win. Right now, that is Vikings, Browns, and Dolphins. As it's been mentioned by a bunch of people, we're kind of short on games that matter this time of year. So that's where we sit with this one. The other one that's kind of interesting is just teams in that middle pack. So 40% to 60% win percentage, week 16 or later. 27 and 72 against the spread. Absolutely ridiculous with a worse win percentage. So it's in the primer. That'd be Dallas this week. But my recommendation is I don't want to go anywhere near that. Josh Johnson, third stringer. It's a bit of a mess. So I think the other trend fits a lot of the things we've talked about. So Vikings, Browns, and Dolphins. I think that's really the theme of this week. The other one I'll give you is this. So Chiefs sitting at plus 13.5 right now would be the biggest home dog for the Chiefs franchise in their history. They closed plus 13 in 1977 against the Raiders and Ken Stabler. And right now that is above that line. And here's the crazier one. So the Chiefs are on a 7-game ATS losing streak. They also lost 7 straight against the spread last year. So they'd be the first team in the Super Bowl era to have back-to-back years of 7-game ATS losing streaks. They are literally the worst bet you could make over the last 2 seasons. So pretty crazy with Kansas
That's because
City and
Chris
how that's
Aluticon
starting.
wasn't starting.
Exactly. Yeah, or Minshew, but that didn't go so well last week.
Yeah, fair. Eagles Bills is going to be a heavily bet contest to get the Buffalo Bills as minus 1.5 point favorites. I assume that part of that spread and where it is, the Bills only playing 2 more games at their home stadium before they wrap it up, and you know that they want to send those fans out of that stadium with a big old smile on their face. Josh Allen is on the injury report, and he impacts the line in a major way. But anything as far as the Eagles and the Bills go, where trends can point us in one direction or the other?
As always, I can give you both sides. So I'll say this. Josh Allen, he's 0-2 against the Eagles in his career. Means a little, means a lot, kind of how you look at it. So hasn't done well there. Failing to cover by almost 10 points per game as well. So maybe a thorn in the side. But from Buffalo's standpoint, 5-0 against the spread, facing teams above 500 this year. Most wins without a loss for any team in the NFL. So a little bit how you look at it. I think I'd have to look into the Eagles stuff a little bit more to look at how he's played. If you look at some of the numbers behind Josh Allen this year, really different at home versus road. Much better at home. On the road, I believe the passer rating is almost 30 points different home versus road for Josh Allen. So home seems to be some cooking for him.
I will say that Allen should have beat the Eagles. It was typical Eagles luck box win last year.
Yeah.
Eagles beat him in overtime in Philly. I think that there was like so many fluky things that happened in that game. It was unbelievable. I think the Bills outgained them like 5-10 to 340 or something. And they lost in overtime on a bunch of fluke stuff, missed field goals. So he did play well. I think the final score was like 38-35.
Yeah, I think that 5-0 number is intriguing in terms of what they've done against good teams.
Stucky, do you think that line indicates some real question marks about his health?
I can't imagine him not playing. I think
McDermott said that he is expected to play, so
yeah,
I don't think
there's
they're hedging this too much.
No, I mean I think there's probably some people that make that line like 1.5. Not much difference between these two teams. Lane Johnson, is he back? That's important for the Eagles. I'm still not buying this Eagles like offensive resurgence. Like I thought they were going to lose that game against Washington until Mariota got hurt, and Johnson throws that horrendous pick, which I mean there was Washington had no chance once Mariota went out. Also Elliott, is he broken? That could come into play. He looks like he's completely lost. I will say Hurts is running a bit more, which is helping their offense. I don't know why they weren't doing that earlier, but they beat the last 2 weeks. They beat the Raiders and the Commanders with a third string quarterback, and they had the Commanders had even more injuries during the game. Offensive line, they were without their left tackle. They lost their left guard. They had lost a bunch more defenders, and it's a defense that can't stop anyone. So now the Bills aren't a great defense either. But if that keeps going down, I'll probably look at the Bills there.
Kendra, should we just be looking to back Buffalo in these final couple of games in Orchard Park?
So I very much am thinking that Buffalo is about to go on a run here. I don't know if here's the thing. When I look at the AFC playoff picture, they're the team that I don't want to play. Does anybody feel differently about that?
I think they'd be at the top of the list because of
Yeah,
that.
and
if the Chiefs got in with a Ludicon, I don't know. Maybe.
And in order for that to happen, you have to win both of these games back to back. Obviously, they want to say that. No lack of reason to get up here. I'm on the Bills probably no matter what. Probably not going to bet this game though, just because it feels yucky for some reason. But I'm behind the Bills when they get in through the postseason for sure.
Evan,
yeah, the
thanks
Bills
so
won't.
much.
They really can't win the division though.
No, they can't.
because I mean, all the Patriots somehow play two more backup quarterbacks to close the year. Although
Yep.
Brandon will be on the Dolphins
All
and Quinn
could
Ewers.
be kind of stinky. I don't know. The Patriots have to be in bet jail for me after I had the Ravens the other night. I seriously cannot touch them again, or I might get fired from my other job.
Yeah,
But
I don't know that you have a great. You're too close to the fire. I don't think you have a good read on the
I mean,
Patriots.
your starting quarterback. If you're starting quarterback at certain NFL, you just it happens. You're going to lose your bet. I mean, I had the Ravens, I had the Commanders. Like you just sometimes it happens. Sometimes this your starting quarterback that you bet
or
against
they
gets
leave
hurt.
Derrick Henry out for the fourth quarter. Who's to say?
Yeah, the
Um,
Ravens would have covered that with Lamar.
I think so
The
too. But
the
you'll never
Ravens
know.
would have won that game, no question, if Lamar didn't get hurt and they played the best running back in the league. But what do I know?
They also could have. The Patriots continue to get every fumble. Like, what did they have? Five fumbles in that. There was five fumbles again. They covered four of them. I think they recovered like 83% of opponents' fumbles and have lost only like 30% of theirs. And considering they played nothing but backup quarterbacks all year, that's a little worrisome. And Drake May put the ball in harm's way again a bunch. He's been amazing, but I think he had 3 or 4 turnover-worthy plays, a drop pick that would have ended the game. So he's getting
Yeah,
away with some throws.
Yeah,
he had
they're going
a
to be that
bad
one.
3 quarters.
They're going to be that one seed that gets a bye and then loses in their first opportunity. That's what it
I
feels
agree,
like.
especially because they're so injured right now. They are so, especially on defense, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, we got to get May throw some amazing deep balls, and he's
He
playing
had
really poised.
380 yards the other night and played like that. Like he had 3 bad quarters of football and still went, I think, like 31 of 44 for 380 and 2
Yeah, and there
touchdowns.
was a missed like 50-yard PI that I don't know how they didn't call.
That was
Um,
bad.
so, but yeah, it looks like the Bills are going to be a wild card, and as of right now, it looks like they would go to Pittsburgh. So,
More
uh,
like Schittsburg.
who they already went and just ran all over. We'll see if the Steelers make an adjustment to the
Oh,
play that the Bills ran 30 times in
good
the
luck
same
trying to
game.
stop. Good luck trying to stop Kenneth Ladanian Gainwell. Yeah. Evan, go check out the primer. ActionNetwork.com. Get yourself a pro subscription while you're at it. It's time for the reason you all came here today, and we'll send you on your merry way. Our 2 kings and a queen parlay. For reminders, we will each nominate 2 plays, see if we can find some general consensus on the board, and eventually land on our team-built parlay. Stucky, get us started.
All right, we're going ugly, as you might imagine, week 17. Browns fit the mold. Steelers need to win. Browns play for nothing. Home divisional dog. I mean, I almost always bet them. I bet the Browns last week. I always bet the Browns as
Miles
a home dog.
Garrett
Garrett, I hope gets the record.
on
They're going to
Aaron
shock you.
Rodgers. That
I mean,
would be so sick.
Yeah.
their defense always plays much better at home. Um, I plus there's no DK Metcalf for the Steelers to suspend it. That makes the Steelers easier to defend. Like you can just watch when defenses play, when the Steelers are in the red zone or like they'll have a safety shading over to Metcalf. And now it's like,
Can
who
we
you
talk about that?
Scotty Miller, Adam Thielen, so yeah, so and there's going to be like 30-mile-an-hour winds in this game. This total might close at like 30. So like getting 4 points in this, 4.5 points in this game is like getting 10. There's also many so this is now the Browns Super Bowl at home. Try to spoil the Steelers. There's also a scenario where the Steelers already clinched the division and they're playing for nothing if the Ravens lose to the Packers. And then what happens? Well, the Steelers have a ton of injuries as well. Offensive line, defensive line. So they might rest guys that are hurt. Do you hold back guys that are dealing with injuries? You know you're not going to have Metcalf. Do you put Rodgers out there in harm's way against Garrett? Probably not. So what does that mean? I mean, even if he plays, you probably run the ball 70 times. You're playing for nothing. And then this game ends like 7-6. That's my first one.
What's the case for the Raiders? Because I'm sold, by the way. My vote is going to be on the Browns unless you blow me away
I love
here.
the Raiders here. The Raiders are not. It's like this is like everyone's gonna say it's a tank off. I don't think either one of these teams is outwardly tanking. Where it could come into play is like who you sit out, or make sure there's a one out there. I'm nominating the Raiders money line. I took them early in the week getting plus money. Where you see the tank is like if one team, these two tankish teams at the end of the year, one team scores at the end. There's no reason to go to overtime, so you might just call the worst 2-point conversion play of all time. We've seen that in the past. So you might just call like a triple reverse and lose the game by one. Um, so, but here's the thing: Dart is broken right now, not running as much. I mean, he didn't complete a pass for the whole first half last week. I don't know if he's hit a sophomore slump. It's after his injury. He's just not the same quarterback. They also have a ton of offensive line injuries. And the Giants are one team that cannot afford any offensive line injuries. The Raiders, meanwhile, yeah, I mean, Andrew Thomas is like, we've seen this in the past. When Andrew Thomas goes out, this unit turns into dust. That's what's happened to the Raiders, who maybe they'll get Colton Miller back, Pro Bowl caliber left tackle. And the Raiders, they're going to have, like, you have Brock Bowers, you have Genty, who's going up against the league's worst rush defense. So I think that they'll be able to run the ball. And here's who the Raiders have played over the past 5 weeks. The Browns defense, the Chargers defense, the Broncos defense, the Eagles defense, and the Texans defense. Are those 5 top 7 defenses? That's who they played over the past 5 weeks. They played the Broncos before that, the Jags before that. Like, their schedule has been vicious. So this will be a nice break for Gino, for Genty to get going, who got going last week against Houston. So I just trust that Raiders offense much more. Their defense, I think, is even better than the Giants defense. They're at home. Pete Carroll is not a tanker.
King.
He's
Pete,
not
this is
a
a Pete
tanker.
Carroll podcast.
And the Raiders, by the way, these are my
Yes.
2 most profitable teams in 2025
So handsome.
have been the Raiders and the Browns. And so that's who I'm dominating here, the Raiders and the Browns.
Damn,
I like them both. Is that
you
bad?
kind of got me with that one, actually. That was good. You definitely sold me on some Ashton Genty props, that's for sure. Definitely gonna add that to the card. I'll still vote Browns, but you almost got me.
Yeah, I'm
Kendra?
gonna go Browns as well, but I don't hate either of them. So Browns.
All right.
All right, so we
I
got
say we
Browns
Browns
plus the
points though, not money line. I'm a coward.
Yeah, we're taking the points. I
Yeah.
mean, especially in a game with total of that is trending towards like 31. Evan, who would you have voted for?
Cleveland, but I want to buy to 4.
Is it not
It's
4
down to
anymore?
3.5.
It's 3.5. Yeah, DraftKings is
collapsing.
allowing the slider to 4.5, so we're gonna put 4.5 in the parlay.
Okay.
Good.
That's the number I bet early in the week, so.
All right,
right.
Kendra, you're up.
I really only have one nomination, but I gave you a second option just in case. I really love the Bengals this week. They didn't take their foot. What?
No.
They didn't take their foot off the gas last week. I expected them to. Joe Burrow just says he wants to go out there, play football, and have fun. The fact that he didn't sit and try and nurse that foot when he could have last week, I think says a lot. I think they're going to go out there, hoop, have some fun, score some points on a bad team, and I don't think that there's any argument against that at this point against a bad team. However, I know that Kravitz also has the opposite side of that. So I'm going to give you guys the Lions -6 just because must win game. I get that they're injured, but they got absolutely just the game the other night, man. Well, I do think it was the correct call, but we were all sitting here screaming at that game. I think that they have to come out, be ready, must win game against a bad Vikings team on their 3rd string quarterback. Love you, Max Brosmer. Regardless, those are my 2 nominations.
I will
Yeah.
not bet I can't bet the Lions, I'll tell you that. I mean, I haven't already talked about this. Like, I probably am gonna end up betting the Vikings. If Brosmer gets ruled, is he not ruled officially in yet?
I'm pretty sure-
JJ is
Line says that he's
questionable.
playing, but sometimes when they get
I don't
officially
think they're gonna
you'll
play
see another
JJ.
bump in the market. What's that?
I don't think it's going to be JJ, right? Like,
I don't think so either.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I
if
would
play
wait.
him-
I would wait on that.
I'm just saying, like, maybe you get another bump when it's announced. I mean, this line is just
so
seems
Bengals.
to me. But no, I mean, the Lions stink. People don't like. They just lost to the Steelers at home in a must-win game. This is not this, and they're so hurt. They have no offensive line now. So like going against Flores defense, McCarthy already beat them when he was horrendous on the road. You have offensive line injuries. Your defense is. I mean, the Lions' defense. They got nobody left. Their defense has allowed 460 yards per game over the last 5 games. The Bengals are dead last in the NFL. They're allowing 402. No, and I can't. I cannot get behind the Lions. Now Bengals. Yeah, I could see just the Cardinals are so hurt, and I don't know how they get any stops because like Flacco, Burrow can just dink and dunk all the way down the field on them, and then they're going to hit some explosives too. Like I don't know how the Cardinals get any stops, and like who is left on the Cardinals roster? But Kravitz likes the. I know he's going to try to nominate the Cardinals. I
I
don't
have
know.
an
That game's
idea.
hard early in the week because of the injury
Once again,
situation.
Yes.
Kravitz, I hate your nominations.
All right.
So you're gonna vote.
I
You're
cannot
voting for who?
believe that
You're
I
voting
have
for
to
the Lions, Kravitz.
say that again.
So you're gonna vote for the. I'm voting for the
I'm
Bengals
not.
by
I'm voting for an
default.
alternate. I'm voting for an alternate idea. I cannot, and I'll give it to you in a second. I cannot believe that I am the one that has to nominate the Sad Cats every single week on this podcast. I'm trying to slowly convert us from a Jags cast to a Panthers cast. Plus 7.5
I
would be.
started the Panthers movement. Screw you.
You handed the ball off, and I've taken it to the house here. Somebody has to do it. This one's simple. This is what Carolina does. They're the Carolina
Brandon, we
Reapers.
didn't vote. We have to vote on Kendra's first.
I'm laying this out there because we're going to spend more time on my other idea. 5-1 against the spread as a home underdog are the Carolina Panthers. They've covered 9 straight against NFC opponents. So I like the Panthers. But my idea that I think we might like here is that we marry our Cardinals Bengals pick because both of us are of the same mindset. You like the Bengals because you think they're going to put up a bunch of points on a sad sack Cardinals defense. I think the Bengals are just as bad, if not worse, than Arizona, and they're not going to be able to get any stops. So I think we should take the over. I think we should put the over 53.5 into the parlay, and then we can kind of both.
Where are the Cardinals getting those points from, though?
Their offense has been awesome with Jacoby Brissett, and they have Marvin Harrison Jr. back, and the Bengals are the worst defense in the league against the tight end position. Trey McBride's the best tight end in the game. They're not going to stop the guy.
Bengals money line. We're putting Bengals money line in there. Evan, well, let me get Evan's vote. We can't change our pick to a total. Yeah, Evan, what would you decide here?
But it's between Bengals and what? What are the Bengals money
Lions.
line?
Bengals. We could go Bengals spread. We also could
Well,
just throw Bengals money line in there or Lions. I know you're not going to pick the Lions.
I mean, oh my God, Lions money line, I guess could be something. If we
No.
wanted to, okay, well, Stucky just gave me that.
You know better than to do the team that has to win on the road in division.
So we're going to put a
17.
minus 380 money line into the parlay? What are we doing? It's week 17.
Wait. What about a suggestion off the cuff? What if we did like Bengals first half or something like that? Does that feel? I don't know. It's. I guess it's 4.5. That sucks too.
It has to be approved by Kendra. This is her nomination. We can't put her in the blender.
I think we go
like
Bengals, Panthers, whatever.
Well,
all right.
Fine. So wait, Evan, who would you pick between the Bengals minus the points or the Lions?
This is a colon stocking situation. Give me the Bengals.
Also, we are sitting here every time we sit here and argue over this fucking parlay for more than 4 minutes, it hits.
Yep.
So every time we sit here and we're like, I don't feel good leaving this right now.
Bengals, but let's do this. Does DraftKings allow us to get under the 7? Like, give me the 6.5 or something like that. Like, I don't want to lay the full.
All right. Well, let me play around here. So so you guys are good with the Panthers. There's no
fine.
Well, your other choice is the Cardinals. So.
But just even in general, for people out there that want to bet it straight, I already bet the Panthers plus 7.5. Stucky, would you sign off on that for those out there that are listening that want to take that? While I'm just trying to buy time while I put this in the app here.
I'm waiting for some injury stuff there. I'm close, but over a touchdown, I'm not going to oppose it.
Okay, so we have the Browns plus 4.5. Against the Steelers. We have the Panthers plus 7.5 at home against the Seahawks, and the Bengals down to minus 6.5 against the Cardinals. That is plus 464 over on DraftKings. The crown is yours, you weirdos. Yeah.
Well, get ready for another parlay to cash.
So, you know what this feels like? This feels like the middle of a Christmas get together with the family where it was going well, and then it just gets really fucking awkward out of nowhere. And you're like, I think we got to go now. I think
Grandma
that's
starts
it.
talking about politics, and you're like, all
That's-
right.
Grandma
After a
starts talking
bottle
about
of
Queen
wine.
Ewers.
That's right. This did not feel like consensus, but listen, we're
The
throwing it in
Browns. The
there.
Browns are the only team that was consensus. What a
How about
world.
it? We should just parlay our plant the flags. We were much more happy go
No.
lucky 40 minutes ago.
No, I like this.
All right, fine. There you go. That'll do it for our episode today. A reminder, no show on Thursday. We're off for Christmas. Special thanks to all of you for listening and making us part of your week. We greatly appreciate it. We also appreciate our producers, Gifford Gould, David Payne, Statsman, Evan Abrams. The favorites will return on Sunday night. We'll recap week 17 and see where we went right and where we went wrong. Hopefully none of you get coal in your stockings and all that jazz. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on the Favorites Podcast presented by DraftKings. A Merry Christmas to all, and to all, a good night.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays.